Davey been? I think I saw him yesterday.
We are back, and we kill the music. Da-da. There we go. Okay, so we are back once again for Modern Age Heroes. We're down a couple people due to vacationing or enjoying pre-Halloween stuff or whatever have you. So it is what it is. And I don't know. I heard your question about Davey. I don't know. I do know
Yeah, we missed you, Davey.
I do know on Fridays he now has a vampire game that he plays in, so that's why we haven't been seeing him really.
Oh,
Gotcha.
well, good for him.
He mentioned that to me at one point. Alrighty. So since we have the crowd, we have to decide who is taking notes for today, because we're doing that with all of our games. We're making sure one person is the designated note taker.
I can go ahead.
That we were trying to get away from a designated note taker.
No, we're not getting away from a designated note taker. Everybody's going to be taking turns.
Yeah,
and
we're taking turns.
They are the designated note taker.
I already did mine for this month.
So yeah, I can go ahead and do that this time.
Yep, and just make sure that you post a copy of whatever you have in the Discord chat specified for notes.
Yep.
And we should be good to go.
Gotcha.
So who wants to do the recap?
Hyperion always does the recap.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay, fine.
Let's see. All right. So last time, let's see here. Hyperion started out talking to Angler, letting him know that as far as him trying to create EMPs from his plasma, that it would just work better if he focused on his electrical powers that he's starting instead to accomplish that, if he still wanted to. Right after that, he talked to Shone with regard to helping her make new gloves, stun bolters, where instead of always firing lethal lightning bolts at will, she would be able to charge them up and fire stun bolts like what you see in the training room. But Hyperion needs no more resources and materials before he can make a prototype of that. Let's see here. Lightbringer had let us know that she had spent the day with Jurgen and learned that Tavaxian they were holding, designated Red, has named himself Noron. He now knows English, and he is a scientist amongst Tavaxians. Although he has been shunned from them, his honor was taken, and he can't return to his people. So we actually ended up going to New Prussia, getting teleported there so that we can actually talk to him face-to-face to get some information about what's going on between the Tavaxians and the Ubari, because the Ubari seem to be in league with the Russians to weaponize kidnapped, empowered people so that they can use them, apparently, as weapons versus their enemies, the Tavaxians. And we were getting a lot of that information and clarification from Noron, who also let us know a few things, such as Electrum is not just an Earth hero, he's an interstellar hero. That a while back he actually led the charge versus Tyrix the Tyrant way back then. So that guy's been a thorn in everyone's side for a long time. And the understanding of the Tavaxians versus the Galactic Union, where it seemed like, the Tavaxians are hostile and the Galactic Union is all peaceful. Well, there seems to be some difference of opinion there, where the Galactic Union folks didn't really put up a fight when Tyrex came around, whereas the Tavaxians and others apparently did. So that was interesting. We also learned that there could be Salanth survivors, so Xenofreeze's people. There might still be ones alive on a planet called Zuabos, which is not that far away from their own original planet of Zenri. But trying to get communication to them is going to be kind of impossible, because anything that we send out to interstellar space is being intercepted and stopped by the Tavaxian ship that's in orbit, because Earth is under quarantine And that whole tyrant business, Electrum being as powerful as he was and being from the Earth, that quarantine was put so that others aren't supposed to come here and nobody's supposed to effectively leave Earth to go elsewhere until Earth society is considered enlightened, like technologically sophisticated, like the rest of the galaxy. And we learn that there's a church known as the Precursors, which they worshipped Sistrick, a goddess of perfection, who was apparently a Dexamite, but that religion was outlawed long ago because everyone hates the Dexamites because they were conquerors, and it was an empire that treated everyone terribly. But there's apparently, possibly, likely a Church of the Precursors on Earth because in the past, Earth was a Dexamite hub for their empire a long time ago. And their interactions with humans a long time ago seem to put their genetic markers in the human gene pool, and that's why there are so many superpowered beings nowadays, especially on Earth, which also seems to be a rarity throughout the galaxy. You don't see that many superpowered beings elsewhere, but there's a ton of them on Earth, and that seems to be one of the main reasons why. As we finished up talking to him, Jurgen let us know about a spot in Moldova known as Transnistria, which has a lot of illegal activity going on, and it might be a good place to unravel that Ubari-Russian alliance that's going on if we wanted to pursue that, which Hyperion said that he would if he would be given that information. So then we came back to Strandfurt, and that is what I've got.
Lot.
So, picking up from where from that point, we were about 3 days out from that. So, give it a couple days. Does anybody have any power stunts that they're attempting?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Roll that beautiful bean footage in the chat.
Oh, also, you almost forgot the girls did come to Hyperion to discuss their concerns about Freddy's radicalism.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
and that,
right.
that was also in the chat too. So there
Yeah.
was that,
Yeah.
and the setting
And
up
we
of
have a new
Helios.
computer system.
Yes.
Right. That's right. Let's see. Okay.
You
I'll-
came
I'll
up
go
with the
ahead.
acronym and don't remember it, huh?
It was oh, that's right. Okay, so Helios, yeah, I was thinking of like other acronyms because I'm trying to think of other things too. So Helios, which stands for, oh nice, got a red feet there, Shelley.
Finally.
Helios stands for Hyper Efficient Linked Information Operating System. And he is like the replacement for mainframe. He's not a cognitive AI, but he's designed to be very interactive and still helpful for us.
He's funnier.
And for those of you familiar with Cyberpunk 2077, he's the Brendan now of the veil.
That's awesome.
Nice. I like it.
So I got a red feet. So now what?
You can mark off a success.
So how many more do I need?
You need a total of what, 10, I think, or something like that?
10 red feet?
No, not 10 red feet. No.
Just 10
You got your red
successes?
feet, yeah. So now you need 2 more yellows, and then the rest need to be green, and
Yes.
then you've got it mastered.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yay.
I'll try my feat too. He's trying to make copies that can be tangible.
Okay.
Was that it? Green feet? Nope, not yet.
Okay. Negative Ghost Rider. So you are working on that during the 3-day time frame. Justin, are you trying anything?
Nope, he's not working on any power stunts. He is going to continue to develop his electrical ability as best he can.
Okay. Trying to expand on his new power
Yeah,
as karma permits.
yeah, as karma permits, but I'm not worried about that until it gets my turn again.
Sure.
He's going to put in a call to, what's her name? Sharon Wilson, the Museum of Science Director,
Okay.
and Victor Solis, and ask them if they've ever heard of a figure coming out of the ocean with a wreath crown carrying a trident as a blue-skinned male with, ironically, a tree with only with one leaf-bearing tree on the island.
Okay, so you are running this by two people then, or attempting to reach out to two people?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sharon Wilson, because she might have a more historical person she might be able to get them in contact with,
Okay.
because this might pop up in mythology. And Solus, because he might actually know the person who that this is supposed to be.
Right.
You can't tell with mages.
No, that's fine. Victor Solis, his assistant tells you that he is off dimension currently, and he will get this to him as soon as he comes back. Sharon would eventually get back to you like the next day, and let you know that that is pretty far out of her expertise. However, she does know that I got to pull the name up here real quick. Here we go. Wait a minute. Wrong file. That pulled up here. She does know of a professor who, in the past couple months, has just begun teaching at Strongford University. So that is somebody you could probably check with. His name is Professor Germain Lacroix. His
Is it spelled the
specialties,
same way as I think it's spelled?
his specialties are history and archaeology.
Strongford. History, archaeology.
And I posted the spelling in our Facebook chat.
Yes.
That's the spelling I was expecting.
I don't in particular know of any other spelling for LaCroix, but okay.
I was thinking of a different genre of game and the last name LaCroix.
Oh. Drawing a blank. I probably haven't played it.
Bloodlines.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
The dude, that's right.
Been
Yeah.
a long time, yeah. Okay. So, morning comes around at this point, and you hear bum, bum, bum at 7:30. Good morning, the vein. It is I, Helios, awakening you for a bright and sunny day. The highs of temperature are going to be in the 70 degrees, with the low reporting at 49 to 50 degrees. Tuning in to a local radio station. And then you hear faintly in the background, you hear some 80s being played. In particular, it's Buffalo Stance. Now, we always hang in a Buffalo Stance. We do the dive anytime we chance.
Just gonna kind of crack one eye open
Mhm.
and listen for a moment. Then she's gonna take her pillow and suffocate herself with it.
All you hear from down the hall is Billy goes, "What is that noise?"
And when it doesn't stop, she is going to scream as loud as she can. Hyperion!
What?
So then Hyperion will get out of the laboratory, because it's probably where he's been at, and head to the computer and say, Helios, you can discontinue the music.
Affirmative.
Well played, sir. I like that. That was good.
The silly face on the screen.
No, I mean he's still attempting to master the social designs, and so since he has a face that displays on the screen, it kind of animates occasionally as he talks.
It's like watching Teletubbies. Kind of just get drawn into that like zone.
Oh, it's not that bad. He's not going to go around asking for big hugs.
Oh no. Okay.
Teletubbies are evil.
Okay. Let's
So
see here.
after a few moments, she will drag herself out now that she's awake. And
there was actually
Fluffy.
more noise between you and Billy yelling than there was from the music. Just to let you guys know.
you still got kind of like teenager mentalities here.
That's
Just a couple of music critics.
Yeah, right.
And so she will drag herself out with her fluffy bear claw slippers and go to see if coffee's been made. If it hasn't been started, she will start coffee.
Okay, so
there's coffee.
Yep. So as you come out, there is coffee currently percolating.
Does she smell breakfast?
I don't know. Angler, did you cook?
There's some fluffy eggs and
Okay. Yeah, she'll
fluffy eggs, tortillas, and bacon.
She will.
So the hot plate
drips.
has currently been in use.
Yep. So she will start chowing.
Okay. Yeah, Billy smells that, and anybody who's looking down the hall, like you see Billy hopping on one leg as he's trying to finish buttoning up his pants. Coffee, food.
And he is currently in the training room, connected to the voltmeter, trying to measure his own voltage that he's generating.
So when she hears Billy coming down the hall, she will go ahead and just pour him a cup of coffee and have it holding out for him to take as he passes by her.
He comes by. Love you.
Love you too.
Okay.
So we probably should be getting a hold of somebody today about your naturalism?
Naturalization.
I don't even think I have that.
Citizenship? Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing? Yeah.
Probably
that'd
should
be
look
good.
into my own just to make sure we're all legal. I think that would look bad if we're fighting for justice and we're illegal ourselves.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. We might want to talk to
Little
Hyperion about
two-faced.
that. Yeah.
At that point, Hyperion, hearing everybody talk, he'll make his way into the kitchen, and he'll see the two of you. Good morning, both of you. He's like,
Morning,
well,
brother.
Morning.
Did you figure out who we need to talk to about citizenship?
this morning I actually need to make a call to the ambassador to see if there's any way to fast track Billy's citizenship.
Also, this kind of made me think of myself because I'm not human.
Which
And I
clearly
wasn't-
would make your naturalization that much more difficult, hence why currently you, I, and Ixion technically have forged documentation.
Okay, so so then I don't have to worry about me. I just wanted to make sure.
You see, like, Billy gets this weird look on his face and he goes, something just occurred to me. Remember when I told you that in my world, there's a lot of, we'll say, races that don't exist here?
Mm-hmm.
Trolls,
Yes.
orcs, that sort of thing. I wonder if it might be a good idea to do a DNA test on me just to see if there's any weird stuff in my background, just in case. Because if there is, we need to keep me away from hospitals.
I would get with Exion when he gets back
Okay.
and have him. He's kind of our genesis. What do you guys call him here? Genesis?
A geneticist or a xenobiologist.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
that
that'd
one.
be good.
This is where Angler will walk in. He is dressed in a nice suit. There's actually 3 people who can do genetic testing here. Ixion is a literal alien. I actually do have genetic testing in my background, and I am pretty sure Carmen can do it as well.
Do you have a date with Nene, perchance?
No, I'm going over to the university today.
Oh,
I'm seeing if I can get an appointment with one of the professors there about the pearl itself.
oh.
I see.
So you got
So-
a lead. That's good.
I won't call it a lead yet. We're going to find out.
That's good.
Well, excellent. Hopefully you'll find something. I wish you luck.
Tell me about it.
Well, see, I don't know if I should call you little brother, big brother. And she's looking at Billy.
Does there have to be a little or big in front of it? We could just go with brother.
I guess. Anyway,
Bro.
so bra.
I'll take
Do you-
choom. Choom works.
What is that, by the way?
Oh,
Helios
you-
chimes in. Choom is a slang term from the popular RPG game. It denotes friendship. Also indicates chumba, chumbata.
Billy goes, I'm sorry, what?
So he repeats the same thing and he says,
No. Sorry.
Produced by Artel Sori.
It's like, all right, that's going to take a little processing, but okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, you want to do some training? Since it looks like it's just going to be us here.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't done any form of training in, I don't know, a while now.
So, what kind of superpowers are you working on?
The sound generation and manipulation is the inherent power that I personally have without my pearl. My pearl grants me the ability to channel magical abilities, and I remember telling you guys that I started doing a lot of research on that. Obviously, I had a mentor a while back when that worked with me and helped me get as far as I could. I'm not sure how much of that I can train with. I have no idea. But the inherent sound manipulation and generation, that's all me.
Okay. Have you thought about developing any other kind of traits?
Right now, I want to focus on really trying to up the sound generation and manipulation. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of it, but I know for a fact there's a lot of room for improvement.
Freddie, do we have anything that can assist him with that in the training room?
For sound manipulation and things like that,
Yeah.
I think the way Electrum originally had it set up is to be an obstacle course. Effectively an obstacle course. Other than that, we might be able to engineer something. I would say something that maybe can gauge decimal levels.
Yeah. Kind of like my electricity gauge.
But we would probably want to find a separate section for if you're looking specifically to increase it. We would want to find somewhere else that is not the training room because decimals get ordered in louder in orders of magnitude. They just don't. It's not like going from 10 to 11. It's like going from 10 to 1,000.
So
But
maybe
this
something
one
with
goes up to 11.
so maybe some soundproofing.
Yeah, that's not too difficult to find. I'm pretty sure we can get some of it through.
And she'll look at Hyperion. Do we have the capability to add on to the vein?
Technically, yes, but I wonder, Helios, do you know, per your information in your database, if the training room can handle significant sonic disruption?
Affirmative. Helios can confirm, based on the database, that it has sound dampening qualities.
Excellent. So then it would seem that a simple test would be required to see how effective. As Hyperion looks at the thing a little bit, I understand the
And then
Teletubby reference
and
now.
there's a chime again, and he says, "Attention! There is a broadcast coming in on," and there's a pause, and he goes, like he's thinking about it, and he says, "Space Whale Noise Channel."
Huh?
Place it on the speaker and record everything that you're hearing from it, please, Helios.
Affirmative. And so then there's like a lot of static in the background. And it actually, he displays it. I forget what it's called when you display audio, like what it looks like in visual format. I forget
like a
what it's
waveform
actually.
type of a thing.
Yeah, like waveform or something. So I mean, it's actually displaying that. So you can actually see the crackle and whatnot coming through, and you actually hear something effective like, "Hey, Bonanza, who?"
Is there any way to clean that up?
But whatever it was actually English.
Okay. Yeah. Hyperion goes, Helios, do you have any way of refining that signal to gain some of the missing words?
Checking. Please hold.
Best edition. This is great. Loving it.
And then he goes, "Affirmative. Allow for temporary satellite bounce. Adjusting." And he has kind of a blank face like, "Adjusting.
We need to teach him how to dance.
Satellite adjusted." And now you hear something, coming in more, a little bit. It's still kind of broken, but it's actually a lot clearer than what it was before.
Okay.
And Helios confirms that there is an underlying dead signal intermixed with this, which could account for the problems in transmission. In other words, there is some equivalent of jamming going on, which, of course, you guys already knew about. So that's one of the big reasons why it's not coming back. But you hear something effective like, "Repeat. Who is this?"
And Hyperion would say, Helios, do we have a means of responding to this communique? Do you have the ability to transmit?
Affirmative.
Then send the following message on the same signal that they're using. We are trying to reach any surviving Salanth. If you exist, please let us know.
Okay, so he processes it, and you can see what it has is it almost has like a heart monitor pulse at the bottom, letting you know progress-wise for the translating it into this broadcast signal and sending it away.
Okay.
And then you hear something coming back, and it's broken up, and you hear something about Lauren Green. And then you hear another comment, something that sounds like Salant Homeworld Gone. Repeat, who is this? And then you hear another, broken up radio frequency, and the voice asking, English?
Hyperion looks to the group. It's unfortunate that Ixion isn't available at the moment. Thoughts on how to respond?
Honestly,
Of course.
no. That's the answer. Honestly. We are friends and companions of Ixion, and we are helping him with his signals in his ship.
So at that point, Helios says, looking up honestly. Have found several references. Now playing Stripers honestly.
Oh God.
Honestly.
Helios, you can discontinue that music. Thank you.
Okay, pauses. I have located several websites with illegal or illicit MP3s. Would you care for me to download?
No, not necessary, Helios. Thank you. All right, then. Helios, if you could broadcast the following then back to the communication we were receiving. We are the legacy. Ixion is a part of our order, known as Xenofreeze. He is also Salanth. We're trying to determine if anyone he knows is still alive and well.
At this point, Helios takes that down, and you see the heartbeat indicating that it is sending the transmission back out. But Helios has the look again, like, and then says, picking up additional interference. We'll replay message 3 times to ensure that it goes through.
Sorry about that, guys.
The Devaxians may be finding ways to block this new signal.
That is true, but I have to go. I will be back later. If there's an emergency, reach out to me on the communicator. And
Will
Justin
do.
actually has to get up for just a couple of minutes, so this is a good good point for him to walk away.
So you go do
Be
that.
right back.
I'm sorry, guys, about that. So, can I get a quick? Since my character was still standing there, can I get a quick? My dad thinks that not being able to do the Roku TV is an emergency.
It is if you're missing an important show.
Yeah,
I mean,
Discovery Channel.
yeah. Well, he's trying to go to bed.
He's trying to get my mom to go to bed.
You're right.
So it was a message for Ixion?
That's right.
Oh, okay. So I kind of heard a little bit. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Back in character. Well, that was interesting.
I wonder if that was them or if it was someone else. The fact that it came through in the way that it did is promising, and the fact that the Devaxians are trying to block it would indicate that it is authentic, because otherwise, why would they bother interfering with the signal?
Is there any way that we could bypass these guys? And
Their technology is going to be so much more advanced than the telecommunications technology we currently have in orbit of Earth. We would need significant upgrades, which the Devaxians may themselves stop. Ultimately, we have to actually handle what's happening on Earth between them and the Ubari in Russia. Which, actually, now that at least all of you are here, I'd like to start by explaining that I believe our first order of business we need to actually accomplish before anything else with all the objectives we have would be to interfere with the Ubari-Russia alliance, unravel that conspiracy, and see if that can be stopped.
Any ideas on how we begin to proceed?
I have some. There will need to be preliminary work, and we will need to head there as a team, since that's how we best function. We will first... Yes.
Are we going to include President Albright in this?
Actually, we would be acting on the information he himself provided us when we recently spoke to Noron.
But will we be using any of his people?
For the time being, I would think no, unless there's some extreme emergency where we are absolutely required to ask for assistance. The more we can show that we can act independently of New Prussian forces, the more we will be seen as competent, especially by our own country, and seen as working with our country rather than against it. Again, we have been under great scrutiny recently from the United Nations and the United States government. We need to tread carefully there.
Well, yeah. I need to focus on my teleportation so I'm not teleporting us into buildings and trees and stuff before we head over. So I guess I'll be doing that, Billy, while you are testing the system.
I can do that.
Also, in preparation for going there, Shone, if you would be willing to look into the types of fashion that we would need if we are going to blend in with the Denistrians.
Good point.
Helios, that's something you can help me with. Can you bring up current fashions of whatever Dell said?
Transnistria is not a country recognized by the rest of the world. Ergo, there is little information to be obtained. However, I can obtain documentation and picture references of individuals who lived during the Soviet era, which should be roughly appropriate.
That is a start. Proceed.
Scanning for Soviet hobo.
They're hobos. I have to dress like a hobo.
That would only be one example, I'm sure, of several.
So it's, going through at this point. And then Helios sends off an alarm saying, I can state with 70% certainty that whoever is jamming the signal is now seeking out the satellite in which we are broadcasting with.
Can
Helios discontinue that transmission then?
Affirmative. Space Whale channel closed.
That was close.
I'm glad Helios's use of the various functions of the vein is working as I'd hoped.
Yeah. Very good, Helios.
Thank you.
Hey, Helios. To help you with your humor, dad joke of the day.
Thinking.
I'm going to make Jerome work.
A beekeeper was indicted after he confessed to years of stealing at work. They charged him with embezzlement.
Oh, God.
Very good. I'm impressed.
Billy looks at her. You have a very low bar.
Hey, baby steps.
Yeah.
Speaking of baby steps, training room.
Got it. Billy goes and grabs his guitar and starts to head to the training room.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll head up to the control area.
Alrighty. So you guys go off to train. Justin,
Yes, sir.
since you're back in black.
Back in.
Yeah. So you are. How are you getting to the university?
I'm just gonna drive.
Okay.
Love
So
that
you
dog.
drive on out using your vehicle, heading into town. It's off of downtown. It's got a nice spread of campus and whatnot. Plenty of parking. The campus itself is big enough that you're going to have to actually use like directories to find like what is where, or you'll have to go to like the faculty's building and ask somebody in administration or something.
And that's what he'll do. He'll reach out to somebody within the actual school.
Okay. I mean, it takes you about 30 minutes to walk around and find what you need to find. But somebody in administration ends up letting you know that, where his room is at. And he tends to give many of his lectures in a conference room just off of their small museum, which they have a small museum dedicated to natural science and history.
He'll ask him while he's there, do you know when his class is going to end? His current one?
She pulls up a computer and starts typing a little bit. She says, looks like the next class is is ending in about 30 minutes. He has a final class of the day in about another hour. So that gives you, about an hour and a half window.
Well, while I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and swing by your natural history museum. Please tell me you have fish in there. I love fish.
I actually haven't been, but it's entirely possible. I think it's more of a dinosaur display that we have in there. A big T-Rex that was unearthed not too long ago.
Nice. I'll enjoy seeing that. Thank you so much. I
Of course.
appreciate this. Do I need a visitor's badge or anything?
Not for the museum, no.
Okay. Thank you so much. And he'll wander around the museum for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a
and-
huge museum. It really only has like the one main room, but it has several exhibits that kind of line it around the corner. In the very middle is the T-Rex that they have put together with a little plaque at the bottom that denotes like where exactly they found it at in Colorado and who to thank. And they've got another section off to the side of Old West stuff. So like, a couple Old West guns that have been found here, some horseshoes and things that you would find appropriate to the area, as well as some examples of plant life that you would find by the river, small fossils that, have been found from there, so on and so forth.
And then you'll just wait outside the room.
Okay. So, I mean, as you're waiting, eventually students exit out, about 15 exit out with their satchels and their books. And of course, talking amongst themselves about whatever it is they're going to go do next, or conversations they may have left off, and they exit out. It's not a huge lecture room. It could probably fit 20, 25 people. It's got a big desk up front, specifically for the showing of things. It's got a whiteboard in the back. It's a little on the old school side, so think of an office that hasn't really been updated that could probably fit in an Indiana Jones film.
Okay.
So some older cabinets, older tables, things like that.
Pieces of history.
Sure, there we go. That's what they're calling it now, as opposed to needs to be replaced.
And he'll make his way in. Professor LaCour?
Okay, so he's on the elder side of middle-aged, so probably pushing 60 at this point. Got a little bit of scruff for a hair, short, kind of black with actually a lot of white in it at this point. Nice outfit, but older. It's not like a suit or anything, but he does dress up. It has seen some years. And he looks up and he says, yes, but you don't look like one of my students.
No, sir, I'm not. I'm here because I'm trying to find some possible history to go along with an artifact I found a few years ago. Sharon Wilson, out of the Museum of Science and History, their director, referred me to you about it.
Oh, yes. She is out of D.C., was a student of mine at one point in time. I'm very familiar with her. So, how can I help?
He'll pull out the pearl. He'll show it to him. I know this belongs to a set of some sort. And it started coming along with visions. You know how some of us are. And I saw this blue-skinned man wearing a wreath crown, carrying a trident, very Poseidon-ish. He looked stalwart and rugged, and he stepped onto an island about a mile in size, and there was only one tree there, and it was a leaf-bearing tree. And I've been trying to track down if this belongs to some sort of mythology, if it belongs to maybe a pictogram that existed way before either of us was born. It's just trying to track down something like this can be a bit difficult.
Ah, yes. Why don't you go ahead and give me an intuition check?
Okay. And I'm going to brighten up real quick. Intuition is a remarkable. Super rolls. Roll on the and I did that wrong.
Remember, you can't. Yeah, I was going to say you can't edit it. You're going to have to. There you go.
Red feet with a 99.
Okay, so you end up seeing him, like, as you pull out the pearl, his eyes kind of go big because, again, that's a big pearl. That's the type of pearl that you would see in a black and white film where they've got a mock-up of of the giant terrifying clamshell that you would typically see, like in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or a Disney ride someplace. So he looks at that and he pulls out some spectacles real quick to look at it. He says, "Do you mind?"
Absolutely, go ahead.
So he holds it and he's like looking at it and kind of doing like one of these numbers and bringing it closer a little bit at it. Takes a handkerchief and kind of wipes it off a little bit. And he says, "And where exactly did you say you found this or find this?"
The bottom of the ocean.
The bottom of the ocean. And you're saying that you have these some sort of an accompanying vision, or was this a story you read, or?
Two visions that I can remember, because you know how dreams can be, and but two of them. One was of the island. The second one was the man coming out of the ocean onto the island.
Interesting. So he hands it back to you a second, and then he goes into his desk and pulls out a really old booklet, and the booklet itself it's leather bound cover, but this thing looks like it's been beat up. Like, like a kid would take his book to hold his place in line, so he would slide it down, the floor, so it hopefully stopped like right towards the, it's like it's got scrape marks and beat up and whatnot, and the pages on the inside look like they're crisp. So it's old and very weathered. And so he pulls it open and he starts looking at it. And it's in, you actually don't recognize the characters in here at all. And he starts skimming through it. And he says, if I am correct, and this is a big if, he says, this could be the Dreamscape Pearl.
That is what they refer to it as. It's the only reason why I know it's to be a part of a set. This might sound a little ludicrous, but I got that information from a wizard or sorcerer.
He says, oh, no, I don't find that awkward or funny at all. I'm sure they are masters in their own right. And so he kind of sifts over, some of this documentation. He says that pearl, if that is what exactly it is, the Dreamscape Pearl, is Atlantean by design.
Learn something new every day, right?
And he says, yes, of course. And he says, this tome was actually, I purchased it, oddly enough, out of an estate sale many, many years ago. And he says the individual who wrote this had many encounters with what he indicated were talkative Atlanteans in some of their first interactions known with mankind on the surface world. At least that in which we know. And he became so fluent, he was able to write something appropriate to their own writings. As he points in random spots to text that you can't read.
He'll look at it calmly. Is he still with us?
No, he is not. He passed away many years ago. This book itself dates back to 1901.
Oh, wow.
And he says, if this is indeed the Dreamscape Pearl, and it is tied to other items in which you are indicating, he flips a couple more pages and he says, then we are looking for the wreath crown and the trident of anathema.
Oh, wow. Those stuck out to me. I didn't think that those would be a part of the set. I thought it'd be like an inlay, like a necklace or something.
He says, no. Originally, the pearl was, I believe, in the form of a necklace or holstered onto someone in a protective manner. Perhaps on a breastplate or something. It doesn't really specifically indicate. Only that when the three are together as one, the magic power that they contain will be unified. And the individual, it says here, can go forth to the island and bring forth the plenty.
The magic. Sorry, taking notes.
Go right on ahead. I have zero problem with people taking their own notes. I just want to make sure that everybody's getting a chance to take group notes so that everybody is actively and involved in all games.
So, I apologize, but I can't read the Atlantean. Did it ever say where they thought that the other two items might be?
It does not. Only that they have been lost for quite some time. The island, however, is believed to be somewhere in the Pacific.
I kind of figured that. That's where I found the pearl. I really do appreciate this. This is helping me go a long way. Um, and I imagine that we can't take any photocopies of the book.
Oh no, yeah, it does not hold up to photocopying machines, unfortunately.
Yeah,
The
I
binding of
figured it.
which is, and he kind of holds it up and shows you. He says, "It is on its last leg."
I appreciate knowing this. This at least gives me a lead somewhere to go to find the other two items. I'm not much of a trident wielder, mind you, but it at least gets me in the right direction to being able to get everything together.
Oh, of course, I completely understand, and I would be more than willing to assist should you find any additional pieces. There may be more here within the book that could give to the whereabouts or how they tie together or activation.
Well, he'll roll up his sleeve and show his arm. This is what it's done to me. It's the reason why I'm trying
Oh,
to
yes,
bring.
the lack of magical attunement. I am quite familiar.
He'll roll it back down. it's it's I would like to be able to combat evil isn't the right word, but I'd like to combat lawbreakers without having to actually lay my hands on them and not kill myself in the process.
I see. I did hear something about you being, was it a fisherman? The frying fisherman or something of that nature that you took up, what is it, ecological activism of some sort?
I still do that. Now I'm working for a company that is very much in wanting to help out empowered folks like myself and take care of the environment. One of the things that we are looking into is making renewable resources. That way we don't have to constantly burn fossil fuels. And let's not get into the environmental conversation, because I could probably spin here and talk your ear off. And the nice young lady up front told me that your next class starts in about 45 minutes.
Oh no, it is quite all right. I completely understand. And he hands you a card, which is information on it. It looks like it's a new card because it actually has an email address attached to it now.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, please, at any point in time, day or night, no matter when, if you have any additional leads or questions or commentary, please let me know. As you can tell, this Atlantean thing has been a bit of a hobby. And he says again, kind of holding up the book.
Ever since I got out of the Navy, it has been one of the things I've thought about, like just taking a couple years and just going along the bottom of the ocean, hanging out, but I haven't had the chance yet.
I wouldn't travel willy-nilly if I were you. From my understanding, the Atlanteans are very protective of their sovereign state.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have some type of magical element that has deterred me without me realizing it.
And that could very well be. Prince Tidebreaker has been very not forthcoming with that information, only that he has taken a particular dislike to the surface worlders and their territorial spats and, again, ecological disasters from shipping oil and things of that nature.
Prince Tidebreaker?
Yes, he is a member of the Justice Legion.
Well, that makes things a lot more interesting now. I'm not sure if you know my full family history, but my siblings, the other parts of my triplets, are also on the Justice Legion, and maybe they'll be able to get me a chance to have an audience with the prince.
Oh, well, then you were quite fortuitous indeed. But I don't know if that would be something that would be attainable. He tends to, from my understanding, seeing him in the news, he's very busy with whatever it is they do.
Yes, they are a very active, empowered group. Well, I will take your card, and if something comes up, I will absolutely let you know. If I do get an audience with the prince, I'll let you know as well. See what comes out of it.
Oh, excellent! Do let me know.
And-
I would love to be of more of assistance. Should you find out more information?
Absolutely, and if I can, maybe he'll be kind enough to let us both go and visit once.
Oh, now that would be something, now wouldn't it?
He'll hand out his hand and shake.
Okay, he shakes your hand. He's clearly very eager to assist with this.
He'll grab a pen and paper and he'll write down his because he does. No, he would have a business card at this point. He'll
your
hand
own
him his.
company, yeah.
He'll hand him the Quantum Unlimited business card he has.
Okay.
This is my office number, and he'll write down his personal number. I'm not always at home, but if you leave a message at Quantum Unlimited, it'll get back to me.
Of course.
Once again, thank you so much, Professor Lilcory.
Oh, it has been my pleasure. Trust me, you have most certainly made my month.
And he will take his leave. And when he gets back to his car, he will beep beep.
Attention.
Angler to
there is a
angler to
call
the-
incoming from Angler.
Angler, yes, Hyperion here.
I'm on my way back. I have a mixed bag of news. Mostly good, but mixed at best.
Interesting. I look forward to hearing it.
All right, just giving you a heads up. I'm on my way.
See you soon.
Do you guys want anything to eat?
Huh. They are nodding yes fervently. So, yes, if you're willing to bring something here.
All right, I'll bring some pizzas. And he'll grab 3 pizzas on the way back.
Okay, so
one for himself.
and then you end up hearing from Helios. Would you mind picking up several 9-volt batteries?
I can pick those up on the way back.
You are not laughing.
I don't ask you what you're going to do with your batteries.
That was likely a joke. Is that correct, Helios?
Affirmative. I felt that would be humorous, as I am an electronic being. And the discussion was consumption. By the lack of laughter, this was a failed attempt at humor.
It was clever.
It was an excellent joke. I should apologize to you because I did not laugh.
No
Angler
apology necessary. Please travel safe.
And he'll make his way back, he will actually pick up the 9-volt batteries.
Okay.
Smoke detectors, sir. Those should be checked every quarter, and the batteries replaced about once a year.
Is that what you
And
say?
you can never have too many 9-volt batteries.
Is that what you say when you come walking in?
No.
Okay.
He just brings them in.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, he'll set the pizzas. 1 cheese, 1 pepperoni, 1 supreme. Good news. Prince Tiebreaker might have a clue on the pearl and the rest of the set.
Prince?
Would you like to know the bad news to that?
Isn't
We have
Prince
a-
Tidebreaker a member of the Justice Legion?
110%.
We have a prince?
He is the prince, if I'm going to assume that it's not just a nickname. He would be Prince of the Atlanteans.
They're real?
They are real.
And that means then your artifact, the Pearl, is an Atlantean artifact?
Yes.
So how are they
Um,
going to feel about you having one of their artifacts?
if I get a chance to meet him, I will not be taking it with me. But there is a wreath crown that goes along with it and a trident. According to Professor LaCroix, the artifacts have been missing for some time. A fellow archaeologist and Atlanta studier was researching it to a fair degree. So now I got to see if I can at least play nice.
Do you think that he will talk to you?
No idea, but I'm going to find out.
Is he your only current lead on fighting the other artifacts?
Professor LaCroix has an old book. It was originally done in 1901, but the book is half falling apart as is. So photocopies would not be a wise thing.
What about taking pictures of it?
Would be a similar situation. Documents after a certain age begin to fall apart.
Can they be still read by simple vision?
I believe that would be fine. But that is something that I was not focusing on. Whenever you're asking someone for a favor, you don't ask them to give you a $50 bill after they've done the favor as well.
Understandable. I only ask because if we're needing to create copies of this book and it still can be read with simple eyesight, I could read it and then recreate the information by hand if needed.
I understand you have a photographic memory, but whenever it comes to stuff like this, pushing too hard on those boundaries, especially upon a first meeting, can be a very bad thing.
Understood.
Yeah, but he might like the idea of having a more conventional copy of the book so that he no longer has to put any wear and tear on it.
Well, it seemed like he kept it locked up in his desk. So I don't think he's worried too much about the wear and tear. But arranging a second meeting probably wouldn't be a problem. He is very interested in learning as much as he can about this. So I don't see a reason why he wouldn't allow a second viewing or even flipping through one page at a time. But that is something I will worry about at a later date. The language was apparently Atlantean. I did not understand a single character. And so I think their language is completely different than our own.
Is that something that you could decipher?
If I myself had some sort of index to actually reference their lexicon and their grammar, I could spend time, but I'm not sure such a thing exists.
Outside of Prince Tidebreaker.
Correct.
And this professor was able to read it?
I don't know if he himself could read it or if he had some sort of rough translation of it. But the person who wrote it, he could read and write it to a fair degree, is what he implied. That he had spent time learning it.
Interesting. Well, if I could hope in getting the attention of this prince, I'd be more than happy to put my charm out there to assist.
And then you hear what sounds like Imperial probe droids coming from Helios.
I will do a lot of things for my goals. I will not prostitute my sister out to get them.
You're not prostituting me out. Hello? But he's a prince.
Attention.
She would enjoy this task, is what she's trying to say, I believe.
Attention. There is a broadcast coming from Space Whale Channel.
Is it safe to...
Can you tell if it's been being interfered with, Helios?
Negative. It is suborbital.
Suborbital. Meaning
is it traceable?
A nearby ship. Can you locate or triangulate where the ship is.
Negative. I lack the resources to do so.
Understood. Then please put the transmission through to the main speakers.
Okay, so it comes back through, and of course you see the waveform back up on screen, and now it's pretty darn clear. All right, so whoever hailed me better answer like quick. I'm breaking quarantine for this.
Thank you for arriving. We weren't expecting you to actually be here. You're speaking with Hyperion, leader of the Legacy.
What the heck is the Legacy?
We are a group of crime fighters and superheroes here on Earth. We were trying to contact you and responding to you because we believe one of your own, if you are Salanth, is in our group.
Salanth? No, I'm not Salanth. I'm speaking perfect English. I'm not sounding like broken, am I? Oh God, have I been gone that long?
Who is this?
Sorry. Yes, who is this?
And he says, okay, question. Is Bonanza still on?
Reruns.
Off the air since, I believe, the 70s. So about
Reruns.
2 to 3 decades.
Oh,
Reruns.
my goodness.
Who is this?
My name is Collapsing Star. I'm actually with the Galactic Union.
Can we get him here?
Where is here?
First off, Collapsing Star, why are you coming from the Galactic Union here? Simply because of the transmission that was sent?
There shouldn't be any of this technology on this planet, yet somehow you're hailing me. So I had to investigate to see if the planet was this advanced. And I'm looking around and I can't tell.
Admittedly, we have a variety of individuals on this planet that bring with them various technologies and skills and powers. So there will be a smattering of advanced technology that matches what you may see amongst your society.
And as you're talking to him, you hear like the roar of something. You hear this, oh, good God. And he says, wait, was that a plane?
He's in
Like a commercial liner,
All right,
possibly.
you've upgraded from propellers at least.
We need to meet this person.
Is there any way we can meet you in a neutral location to discuss things?
Yeah, just I don't know what. Give me the address.
Why don't we give him the latitude, longitude?
For
let's see.
the abandoned movie theater or the abandoned theme park.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I forget if it was a movie theater or not.
Yeah, it's a theme park. Yeah. I know what you guys talking about. It's in Fairside.
Yeah.
Okay. I just think it's funny that is where everybody goes at this point. So these poor schlubs in Fairside. Fairside is like a total ghetto, Mike. And it's where at the beginning of the game, where like a lot of the homeless lived, high crime, deviants were pushed there because they didn't want them in the rest of the city. And so now like everybody's like, oh no, we're going to go over there. Nobody's going to seem to care. And so now,
Nobody does.
and so now these poor homeless folks are like, oh my God, what's going on?
No, instead, Hyperion's going to be like, there is an open location called, there is a location that I can provide you that should be devoid of anyone actually speaking to us. We should be able to make our way there, and you should have no real issues landing if you're able to hide yourself from any type of detection. Does your ship have that type of technology?
My ship? No, I came here myself. I doubt they've got anything that can spot a person.
I see. Well, in that case, yes. Since you are simply a person and not a ship, that makes it easier. Yes, let me provide you with the coordinates, and I'll explain what that will look like. And he goes ahead and explains, like, as best he can, where this is going to. He will go ahead and make it the abandoned spot in Fairside.
Okay. Alrighty. So he's like, all right. He says, okay, so in Strongford, Fairside is like really nice looking. Why are you having me drop down there?
Do you find Fairside to be nice looking?
It was the rich spot of Strongford when I was here.
Boy, it's been a while.
That has changed. It sounds like you haven't been on Earth for some time.
Yeah, if Bonanza's been off the air for a couple decades, yeah, that's an affirmative.
Well, you'll see for yourself, and we'll meet you there soon. You should expect 4 of us to arrive, including myself.
Roger that. ETA about 2 minutes.
Understood.
Okay, she's going to activate her ring.
Yeah.
Are we going air shown?
Yes, if you have that location memorized, that would be easiest.
I do. We go there quite a bit.
So as far as I know, Billy is still in the training room.
Oh yeah, she would go and get. Yeah, they would go
Okay.
get him.
All right.
She would say, "Billy, suit up, field trip."
Billy looks at himself and goes, "I'm ready." I don't have a fancy suit yet.
Yeah, you guys are going to
Yes.
have to give him a mask or something if we're going to have him hide his identity.
Yep.
Unless he wants to cast a spell to look like some element.
Do we have a spare uniform he could use
That's-
until we
I
give
mean,
him his own?
Fortunately, no. I do need to work on that, but at the same time, I was told by Ms. McCall that she would be perhaps working on such a suit as well.
I could try alter appearance and just give myself a different uniform, the mask,
Sure, if you want to do
hide
that.
the mohawk.
Is he a similar size as How tall is he?
Billy is, I believe, 5'9". Yeah, 5'9".
Oh no.
If you want, I mean, you. Well, you know what? I don't know if you could, but we'll say you have something that could mask his face without having to do any spells. Just a simple,
A scarf or something or whatever.
Okay.
not a scarf. Actually, you would have something similar to what Lightbringer wears, so like the Robin mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
I mean,
domino mask?
that's not going to hide my mohawk or my arm.
Yeah,
I
you're gonna have to change your appearance.
got a green
Okay,
feet.
so you cast a spell, and what do you make yourself look like?
I'm just going for like I'll disguise the mohawk, right? And I'll just give myself like kind of a spiky black-haired mop, kind of
Okay,
I don't know, think Billy Idol's hair but black. And
All
then the clothing, he'll just change the clothing colors to match everybody else's.
okay. Facially,
Oh, and then
Nice.
obviously did make the arm look like,
facially, you're going to look different too, or
yeah, I probably should. Actually, yeah, I'll just do some subtle changes. You know, change the cheekbone structure. I'm not
Okay.
trying to change my ethnicity or anything.
sure, okay. And so, go ahead and roll, Shone.
Perhaps he knows where father is.
We can only hope.
Oh my god! Holy fall. All right, sit up.
I'm gonna re-roll.
You trying to launch us into a building or a mountain?
Green feet. Much better.
Okay, make sure you mark
I will.
mark off
Yeah.
a reroll.
I am.
Huh.
Well, if she did launch us into space, I could still catch everyone and
Nope, I got a green feet.
So in a moment, you guys, after he casts a spell, you teleport away from the vein, show up in the show up near the remains of the Ferris wheel that's kind of knocked over. And actually, I know we're making a lot of parallels to Cyberpunk. If you are in Night City, the abandoned the abandoned amusement park that's in that side of town where the 6th Street group is at.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Looks similar to that. Not terribly big. It's big, you know. Mark, of course, is a toppled over Ferris wheel. There's spray paint everywhere. It's been cleaned up a little bit, but obviously it's still fenced off and everything. They don't want people wandering in. So as you guys teleport there, you end up seeing a guy descending down from the skies. In pretty quick order. He's got kind of a black uniform with a blue piece kind of coming up. He's got energy streaming off of his hands. He's got gray boots with like a gold star pattern on the knee pads themselves. Kind of really long brown hair, glowing orange eyes from the energy and whatnot. And I have a picture there for you. And so he touches down. He's about 6 foot. And so he's like, you know, he's looking around and he's like, whoa. Boy, this went to hell in a handbasket quick.
Well, welcome, collapsing star, I presume.
The one and only. I take it you're the legacy based upon the L on your chest?
Correct. I am Hyperion, leader of the Legacy. With me currently are Angler, Shone, and Moshpit, and he points to each of them.
Okay.
Yo.
Hi. So why exactly are you broadcasting on what is technically an illegal bandwidth?
One of our members, who's known as Xenofreeze in our group, is himself a Salanth, apparently one of the only surviving members from what Tyrix the Tyrant did to their world. He has been specifically trying to reach out to find any survivors of his race. We've recently learned that there may be on a nearby planet from his home of Zenri, but we haven't been able to actually make contact. And we've recently learned that it's largely apparently due to the quarantine on our world.
Yeah. Why hasn't Electrum explained any of this to you?
You know Electrum.
he's
Yeah, I've
been
run into him a
missing.
couple times.
Do you have any idea where he currently may be?
He looks around and he says he's supposed to be here.
Several years
all I know.
ago, he went into orbit to handle some sort of catastrophe or something and disappeared. He hasn't been heard from since.
Okay. Huh. That's going to cause some problems. So if it's all the same, don't go broadcasting that around.
Right.
Why would it?
Because we're quarantined based off the reputation of Electrum.
Exactly. Good catch there.
Oh,
And he says, and so you're trying to find, I mean, you're going about it in a surefire, ham-fisted way there, buddy. You're just broadcasting out in the middle of nowhere with the Tavaxians circling Earth.
well, we just recently learned of them and of this quarantine.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be here. I don't know what they're what their big thing is, but whatever. So yeah, so you already know that Zenri is like a bunch of space dust, right?
We've heard, yes.
We heard as a result of Tyrix the Tyrant.
Yeah, he came back, and that was kind of his reintroduction to the intergalactic society. He decided to take it out on the Salanth, and as far as I think anybody knows, he's back within his own space, trying to unify the Khanate again.
We also have information that some of the Salant did survive, and they are refugees on a neighboring planetary.
Yeah. That's 100%. The Gaxians took in what was left over from those that haven't scattered to the four winds of space.
Is there a way that if you could find out if any of his immediate family is part of the survivors?
I don't I can't do that.
There's
You
no
guys
way
still
to.
have cops here, right?
We do.
Yes.
Flat feet, that sort of thing. Okay, so you wouldn't ask a cop to go check for somebody else's family. You'd probably try to use other resources. I get that you don't have access to those other resources, but I'm trying to explain what I do. So I don't really have that time, and I certainly don't have the ability to go hopping through each system trying to find out what happened to somebody's individual family. I
Then
can
is
just
there
state that most of them fled their own system. They went into the neighboring Gaxians confederacy, and so I think they're mostly interspersed there. Otherwise, if they really tried to flee, they may have gone to the hold on a second. Oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted either. Okay. Perfect. Here we go. They may have gone to the outer rim.
Is there someone that you can put us in touch with that could get him that information?
Absolutely not.
I was hoping to give him a peace of mind that his family
Oh
is
yeah.
safe.
No. Sorry about that. I technically shouldn't even be here, but I can get away with saying I was exploring a random transmission from a planet that should be not uplifted yet.
Did you just
Then-
basically
What was the
indicate?
name of that planet? The system?
Which
The
one?
outer rim?
Oh, to the outer rim. Yeah.
The outer rim and the Gaxian Confederation or Confederacy.
Did you just indicate that you're some kind of intergalactic cop?
It's the best way to put it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know it sounds kind of weird. I didn't plan this for my career path. Just kind of happened.
When was the last time that you had any communications with Electrum? Was it
I'm
while
not familiar.
Bonanza was still on?
Goodness. I can't honestly say. I travel through so many systems that my internal clock is thrown off constantly. I'm frequently having to stop by starports to get to basically get back on an appropriate calendar, which I don't think lines up with Earth.
That makes sense. Extensive interstellar travel is going to mess with your perception of time after a degree. Well,
It's like working the night shift. Time goes away.
Hey, I actually understand that reference now.
well, collapsing star. If there's any information we can get from you, we'd of course appreciate it due to, again, the Tavaxian ship that's in orbit. We've learned there are Ubari on our world as well. We are going to try to see what exactly we can do to deal with that situation.
So you
But-
know about the Ubari as well?
We do. some of them have apparently broken the quarantine and are trying to, unfortunately, weaponize some of our superpowered beings, apparently as weapons against their enemies, the Devaxians.
What? So they're pulling the Nazi thing?
Yes.
Effectively.
Wow, that's not good. I mean, I know they're desperate, but holy cow. So superpowered beings are like a big thing now?
Yes.
They
Empowered
are-
beings have started to make a larger appearance on the stage. Some of the empowered are scientific explorations, we'll say generously. Others seem to have a genetic trait to it, such as Electrum's children.
Okay. So, yeah, like the that would be the Dexamite marker.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And right now, we are also coming across magical beings as well, using real magic. So we are expanding our horizons on what we consider to be super powered. I like the phrase empowered better because it gives a better marker.
Okay.
But yes,
I don't know why there's such a different. What's the words? But I don't particularly care. It's fine by me.
What is your take, if you're willing to provide it, on the Devaxian Ubari conflict?
Oh, it's ugly. I mean, I guess I can kind of talk about it since you apparently already know and they're orbiting Earth. But yeah, the Tavaxians seem to have a pretty nasty view of the Ubari. And the Ubari have been taking it ever since. In fact, I think last I checked, they've already lost like a third of their overall systems that they used to control.
Do you know what sparked this hatred?
Oh, 100%. The the Tavaxians are upset, and they probably have part of an argument to this, that the Galactic Union never stepped up to unify and fight off Tyrax, the tyrant. And the belief, the rumor, which I don't think anybody's been able to confirm, but there potentially could be some truth to it, is that the Ubari begged off, I think politically, or I don't know what you would call it, but basically they kind of became a designated subject race, and some of their mercenaries were involved in supplementing the Duridian Khanate's forces. And they subjugated a good portion of the intergalactic community in doing so.
So the Ubari were in league with Tyrex to avoid Tyrex's wrath.
That is the belief that's floating around.
That would be good to confirm.
Why is it simply a belief and has not been confirmed? Is there difficulty in getting that information?
So does media still work the same way here?
Media works as it always has, but it can be spun and it can be corrupted at times,
Okay,
if
there you
that's
go.
what you mean.
That's why. You've got one part of the galaxy that believes one thing for one reason or another. You've got another that believes something entirely else. And then you've got, I don't know, maybe a third of the factions out there that just wants nothing to do with it. And since the Ubari don't affect them, you know, and then there's probably some war profiteering going on, I would imagine, because you can get away with almost anything in the free systems.
Ever since Tyrex's initial defeat, do you know if the Galactic Union has ever changed their stance on if he were to return, if they would now step up, or will they have the same stance as before?
The statement is that they will remain unified.
I see.
So pretty much you're on your own.
I couldn't honestly say. I do know that there is rumblings of unification again, because he's attempting to unify the Khanate once again, which means he's probably going to go back on the warpath.
Yes, we believe that as well. We have reason to believe that he will, once he gathers enough forces, return here to Earth to do what he attempted to do many years ago, when Electrum was able to repel.
Right. That's why I think you guys should be totally mums the word on this whole Electrum thing, because if he's not here, Tyrex may not wait to unify the Khanate.
Understood.
He may attempt to get really angry on the planet like he did Zenri.
Could you give us a little bit more history on that conflict between Electrum and how he went about defeating?
I wasn't there for it. I didn't step into my role, he says, kind of with some air quotes, until shortly after.
If
So
you don't
you-
mind my asking, where do you come from?
Jersey?
Then you
So-
are human.
Yes.
I
Interesting.
do have a question. When the Tyrant and Electrum came to blows, is there any official story on how well Electrum fared in the fight? Was it an
What are you
equal
talking about?
footing, or
What are you
was
talking
it
about here or in the intergalactic community?
talking about the Tyrex, the idiot, the warlord?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Are you talking about here or are you talking about the intergalactic community?
talking about the truth.
Okay, well I can't tell you the truth. I don't
He
know.
has been in multiple places. He has fought Tyrex in the stars, and he's fought Tyrex here on Earth. Freddy, are you talking about the battle that was had here on Earth between Tyrex and others?
The last one, because that's going to determine if a few other things that I might have to reconsider.
From what I understand that they teach in schools in the intergalactic community, is that a ragtag fleet of ships and soldiers from a number of galactic union planets unified under the banner of Electrum, quote unquote, the last known Dexamite. Note, he's not getting any credit for being human. And that they staved off the onslaught of Tyrax.
So
All right.
Electrum is not considered human?
No, they market him as a Dexamite. Probably the only Dexamite with a popular with a popular outview to the other races.
Interesting.
Because the rest of the Interstellar Society finds Dexamites to be conquerors.
Oh yeah. That dates back, from what I understand, hundreds of years.
Do you know if there are any remaining Dexamites beyond, apparently, Electrum?
I've never encountered any,
I see.
but they would look like us.
Do you know why they're no longer here? What happened to them?
Nope. Conflicting tales from again the history books all indicate that their empire started to collapse. They claim that there was some sort of like I don't know, the best way I could put it is it's kind of like Rome. You've read about Rome in your history books. It got so
Yes.
big that it kind of collapsed on itself, and eventually some of the subjects rose up and took their own little corners of it. So kind of like that.
I see. Interesting.
What I do know is that the first race to break free call themselves Citramites, and they're like rock people. Not rock stone, but like precious gems.
We have heard a little bit about some of these races, yes. Have you heard of the precursors?
Oh, those guys? Yeah. They're not really well liked. You might want to stay away from them.
We've heard, yes, that they apparently worship some sort of Dexamite savior or god, a supposed one. We've heard rumors that there might actually be a temple hidden somewhere on our world
Ooh.
that might have information that could be useful. Would you have any idea of how something like that could be located?
It would be against intergalactic law for me to assist in any manner with this. They are
I see.
banned from the four corners of the galaxy.
Yes, but if they're here, we would like to fix that.
I, again, cannot assist with that. I do apologize. Only that, so you are aware that they were a Dexamite religion that somehow has made it all of this time without Dexamites. So if Electrum is the only positive Dexamite, imagine what they would be doing here.
I think we have a subtle way of answering what happened to Electrum now.
What, do you think he became a godlike figure to these people? I doubt it. Are they crazy enough
Or-
to believe that? Yes.
Or they kidnapped him and found a way to sedate him.
What? Oh, come on.
Angler likes his conspiracy theories.
Okay, have you ever seen this guy in action?
No, I haven't.
I watched him nuke. Keep in mind, nuke, I'm not mincing the word, 100 starships at one point in time. No, they didn't just put some sort of gumshoe, some gumshoe cloth up to his face and say, here's some chloroform, and then abscond with him somewhere, in some hidden tomb. I mean, even if they were capable of doing that, there's no way they could have kept him there. My mind is blown with how simple that idea is. I can't even fathom it.
Well,
Now,
would you
if
have any
Tyrax
theories
was
as
behind something like that, maybe, but that's not really his thing.
would you have any theories as to why Electrum is no longer present on?
No. Like I said, he's supposed to be here.
All right.
And he seemed really keen on staying here the couple of times I met him. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't cool with the whole intergalactic thing. I don't know. He still jumped out every so often and helped, but
Yeah, but would it just? I mean, would he skip out on his own planet?
I wish I had a better answer. I don't know. I don't think so.
That doesn't seem to be his reputation nor his behavior.
Well, regardless, he's not here.
Well, planet Earth has got a big problem then, because if word of that gets out, I can't even imagine what's going to come down here.
Then you can be sure we will discontinue transmission.
Yeah, that would be a real good idea. You may have had your backside saved by the fact that the Tavaxians are kind of doing that job for you. But if any sort of satellite bounce got off here at like news media or something saying he's been gone, that could be a problem.
Well,
See.
that vision that she had.
It seems that there is merit to it, but he is still gathering his forces. Do you happen to know how powerful Tyrex has become since he started to try to gain favor with the Confederacy again?
Oh, you mean the Khanate?
The Khanate.
It's not like we have intelligence reports or anything, but the media tells us that it's not complete. He's taken the Black Throne, but apparently not all the planets are bowing to his whim right now. So I would say probably personally as strong as ever, but he doesn't seem to have the full control of the resources and systems that he would like to have. So I think he's busy fighting amongst his own.
Then we still have some time, but not much. Well, and Hyperion looks to the team like, are there any further questions for our friend?
Billy
No.
speaks up and just says, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all the different moving parts.
Are
We'll
are
probably catch
you
you up later, Billy.
are you familiar with alternate dimensions of Earth?
A little above my pay grade, but I've heard of it.
Is it possible that Electrum could have somehow traveled among the different dimension realities?
Thank you. I'm glad somebody's saying it because I just can't. Ever since I got here and you guys told me who you all were compared to who I am and how it all lines up, I just can't help but think that that's
It's
at least plausible.
it's
I
been on
mean,
my mind for quite
he's
ever
got
since
he's got
meeting.
a big brain. He's the smartest guy I know, so I would imagine that's a possibility.
Interesting.
And he says, and he kind of looks and he looks down at like his wrist real quick, and he says, "You're Heliopolin."
Yes.
Oh, when did you guys get here? How did you guys get here?
We've had access to Earth for a very long time.
Oh, wow.
We are part of the Egyptian mythology.
Oh, you know what? That would probably make sense.
My mother is considered a goddess to the ancient Egyptians.
Oh, okay. So, how did the war play out?
There's kind of like here, you have conflicting information, but
Oh, gotcha.
from what I've been told, we were victorious.
Oh, really? Oh, because I wonder why so many of them are showing up in the free systems.
Well, I am considered a degenerate because of my lineage. I am not.
Oh, you're not pure, right?
I'm considered a demigod.
Right. Okay. I remember hearing about that.
So, if you're not of pure lineage, you're discriminatory.
Right. Okay.
Discriminated against.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
is probably
remember
why
that.
you have others out. Yes.
Oh no,
I
these are leftovers from Heliopolis. That's why I was able to recognize it. We went through a spat where some of them were coming through, and they were forcibly relocated to the free systems because there was no law governing them and whatever have you. And that was the only place the government could really dump them off, I guess.
There are portals that they have access to on many different systems.
Oh, okay.
Collapsing star, are you saying that there are Heliopolins who are effectively refugees who left their planet?
Well, we're talking about dimensions here again.
Dimensions.
Above my pay grade. From what I understand, there isn't much left of that place. So there are refugees, yeah, in Dysphoria in the free systems.
I see.
I would be interested in meeting some of these refugees.
Perhaps one day in the future, but there's much to be done here before we can accomplish that, of course. Well, Collapsing Star, is there any information that you could provide us regarding the Ubari, since it may be that we have to confront them on our own world?
They're big. They're tough. They come from a culture that being a mercenary is considered a high honor. Um, but like many of the other races, they have high tech, but like many other races out there, most of their technology derives from ancient Dexamite technology.
Well, they're right now they were helping the Russians.
So they're kami ubari.
Sure.
Either that, or they're trying to fandangle a country that they can control from behind the scenes without being directly involved.
I mean, they're desperate enough. I would imagine that could be the case.
Recently, there was a Cold War with threats of nuclear strikes upon each other if things came to a head.
Oh, wow.
That's right. You would have known about that.
No.
No,
It-
the United States and Russia are not really friends.
Okay. Like I said, news to me.
Oh, and the Berlin Wall came down. I don't remember if that was up while you were here.
It new. Maybe it was being built. I don't know. Is Germany still in two pieces?
Not any longer.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah, the wall that divided East and West came down a year or so ago.
Oh, all right. Go Germany.
Well, collapsing star, we appreciate it. We know you're not supposed to be here or talking to us, but what you've provided
What
us.
conversation are you talking about? I don't remember talking with them.
Precisely. If there's anything else you could tell us, anything you believe that might be helpful to us here on Earth as you see us now, we'd appreciate it, but otherwise, we won't keep you from your intergalactic duties.
That isn't me breaking the law. What you mean?
Correct.
Let's see, what did my pa used to say? Oh, don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things.
Duly noted.
Okay. Joking aside, if the Ubari got here, then they probably have planet jumping technology, like spacecrafts and whatnot.
Assuming it didn't crash.
Right.
Roswell?
I would imagine that would have been if they're attempting to use these people like you're saying, then they have a working ship. I guess the first thing you might want to do is take that out.
Understood.
At least that would buy you some time to keep whoever you're trying to protect from being physically transported off world. Oh, now that I think about it, with the exception of you, you're all human, right?
No. I am actually an android.
An android.
He goes
Of-
ahead and he goes
Of
ahead.
Electrum's design.
He goes ahead and drops his guys so that he can see his like mechanical face.
So he's like, "Whoa!" And he like walks up and starts like pushing on your forehead, sort of thing. He's like, "This is like way better than Robbie the robot."
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, just like one step up.
And he says,
Why did you want to
and
know
he
if
says,
some of us-
Electrum created you?
Along with other scientists and engineers, yes, I am a creation of his.
Wow. I mean, I knew he had a big brain, but you're like really lifelike. He kind of pokes you again to like see how you move. He's not poking hard.
Yes, thank you. I am a cognitive, self-aware machine. I don't know how
Your nose
common
doesn't
that
grow
might
though,
be.
does it?
Oh boy.
I am no Pinocchio. No.
Okay, I was gonna say you didn't look like it, but he could have thrown something in. I mean, I don't know. Wow. Huh.
I guess
So
you can say that we were all creations of Electrum.
And so he walks up, he starts poking your forehead, and he's like, "You don't look anywhere near as robotic as he does."
No, but he is my father.
And he looks at Hyperion and he says, "You can sire children?"
No, what she's trying to say is she is a daughter of Electrum. I am a creation of Electrum. Many of the individuals in our organization, the Legacy, are actually related by birth to Electrum.
And so he's like, "Whoa."
Yes, he got around.
The Salanth that we spoke about is one of us.
Oh, get out of here. I didn't know he could do that.
And
Man, that's amazing.
Apparently,
Mosh Pit here is from a different Earth.
an alternate dimension where the Electrum there was in a different standing. It was a different timeline, effectively.
Mhm. Yeah, and my Earth no longer exists, so that's fun.
Oh, well, sorry about that, but so you're all related to Electrum. Holy cow.
We're
Oh,
his
well,
children.
Sort of.
that's not for nothing. Huh.
It's the reason why I was curious about how his fight really went with the tyrants. Because if he could solo him effectively, do it all by himself, it's a different study if he needed to have 1,000 warships behind him.
Oh, no, from what I understand, he had help here. I read about that in school before I became this. He had some Golden Age heroes helping him out.
So how is
And
it that you're part of this galactic union, but yet Earth is not part of it?
Funny you should ask. So remember how I said the Galactic Union didn't really do anything through this whole thing? It's not entirely true. See, there was this a scientific faction within the Ildari Union that had been working on kind of their own thing, I guess. And anyways, so I was out playing in the playground and I stumbled onto that thing, and here we are.
So a
Interesting.
device they created gave you your powers.
As they put it, it activated the marker. I guess it was something along those. But yeah, basically, yeah. So then they called me into service because that was the whole intention. I was, supposed to be of service. They didn't know it went to Earth, and of course, it was found too late because it was intended to, help fend off Tyrax, and so I've kind of been working with them ever since.
So you are aware that there are many empowered beings here on Earth.
I'm sensing you're about to tell me yes.
And the fact that there is actually a country of them.
No. Wow. That's one for the record books.
Which is why I'm
Do they play
curious as
basketball?
to why the Galactic Union is not aware of any of this.
Because there's a whole media blackout about Earth, or Sol, as they call it abroad.
No information in, no information out, it sounds like.
Right, exactly. And again, above my pay grade, but from what I can tell, it was some sort of an agreement worked out with Electrum. Maybe he didn't want this place touched. Maybe they didn't want humans in their neat little confederacy or whatever have you. I'm not too sure.
Okay, that answers my question because I was going to ask, if you're for layman's terms, the intergalactic police, and you've been telling us that these Talaxians, I believe you said it was the Talaxians, shouldn't be here, but there was nothing you could do about it. I'm like, well, I'm thinking, how are you the galactic police then? But that
Well,
answers
yeah,
my
I
question.
didn't want to be rude and ask.
Well, I mean,
Oh, don't worry, I'll do that for you.
Yeah, I can bring it up. It's going to have to go through channels. I'm sure it's going to alarm some people, but I don't think the Galactic Union's going to want to do anything about the Tavaxians. That's the problem.
Well, how can you protect a galaxy without and
Well, that's just what he was like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that uh, there's there was an agreement made where you guys just stay the hell away from Earth.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay.
And your role is to actually protect those that are a part of the Galactic Union.
Right.
Hence
really-
why we are not being helped. We are not part of the Galactic Union.
Yeah, I know.
you're an Earthling?
That kind of blows, but
Doesn't that
well,
kind of
so
conflict
that's
with
right. The
you?
reason why I was going to ask about, being human, and I got side railed by your amazing machinery skills. Okay, so because, well, I guess it doesn't really apply to me, but because we are an uninvolved race, like they haven't been uplifted, you don't have faster than light technology, it's like the whole kit and caboodle there. You effectively have no rights. And that's kind of the written but unwritten rule throughout the galaxy. Meaning, if you step foot off of Earth, you could be taken as a slave legally by almost any of the races.
So if
Yeah.
Electrum is not here to guard this thing that he negotiated, this quarantine, and we have no way of knowing if he's ever coming back. I mean, maybe this is something we should probably talk about amongst ourselves, but the first thing that comes to mind is how do we? Would it be worth us petitioning to become a part of the union?
I'm not a
And I'm sure
politician,
that's
but
no, I'm sure that's above your pay grade. I'm just
yeah,
sort
it
of
definitely
talking
is.
out loud.
But given the fact that you're talking about that there are Russians and I'm in the United States, there's no unified planetary government. That's probably going to be a big problem. That's just the first thing I'm thinking of, because all the other planets, while they may have political factions, they don't. They all have one nation.
Yeah, that I don't think that's going
Cool.
to happen here for a while.
Unless something were done.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, so we got a big enough threat that scares the crap out of all of humanity.
Thing is how much does humanity really know about this tyrant?
Very.
Well,
We
Probably nothing.
as a species, we know nothing of him.
So don't.
Only
As
the fact that he was
individuals-
fought by Electrum on Earth long ago. That would be the extent.
So
If I understand what Collapsing Star is saying,
Mhm.
as a species, we know very little of anything outside of our world, and that makes it unavailable to us. Not only that, is that we do not have a unified government, which means it would be hard for them to deal with a single individual or a single ambassador. They would have to deal with 206 different ambassadors, all of them speaking for a small patch of land that is cosmic dust in comparison to the rest of the universe. Am I too far off base there?
No, I don't think you are. That's just the first logistical the issue that I was thinking of. The other thing is, if it gets broadcast that Electrum isn't protecting this planet, and there's no legal rights here, you could run into a problem with slavers real quick.
Yeah. Jerome, would Billy have seen an image of this tyrant dude?
No.
Okay. Then Billy will just ask, what does this tyrant guy look like?
Oh, so he
Okay.
taps on his wrist real quick. You see a holographic image pop up.
It doesn't look, I
gives you an
hope it
image of what it
doesn't
looks
look
like.
familiar.
No.
Okay, good. I was just wondering if it could be this universe's version of what destroyed Billy's planet.
Oh
So,
no.
cool. That's good.
I
Well,
know some of you
maybe
guys have
it's good.
seen it. I'm looking for the picture again to post it up in the chat.
Yeah.
Wow, this
There he is.
I'm gonna sound horrible for saying this, but does catnip work on this race?
what? What?
They're all
Billy makes the sound. That was a joke, right?
in part.
Catnip.
The-
What are you
the-
talking about, catnip?
I thought you said they mostly look like cats. The tabaxians.
Nope.
Or am I thinking of the other species?
You're thinking of something.
You're thinking of something, but
You were
not-
thinking of the Thundercats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Neither race looks like cats.
What about the red dude?
What about him?
He's the
Wasn't he
Tabaxian.
He's a
shaved?
Tabaxian.
Not like shaved it. They don't have like fur everywhere. He had like head hair, and that was
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's a misunderstanding on Justin's part. I thought it was more. Okay,
Like
never
a full
mind.
body shave or something. No. Yeah, head hair.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking Avatar: The Last Airbender, where you cut off your long hair as Prince Zuko, and all of a sudden you lose your family honor and all that stuff. Very specific reference, I know.
So back in game.
Back in gaming, no, he does not ask about the catnip.
Okay.
Um,
He says, depending upon the file format, I could probably legally provide, although it wouldn't be in a language you'd understand, publicly transmitted broadcasts. If you have no rights here, then technically there are no rights there to pirating broadcasts. So,
Whatever you're willing to provide, I'm sure we can decode it and make some use of it.
On an off chance, your universal translator gadget that you have there, does it mention anything about Atlanteans?
I don't have any information on anything from Earth.
Okay, I was just asking. You never know. They might have been a spacefaring species that made base here on in the Sol system and shot in the dark.
Yeah, no, sorry. Don't have anything like that. But yeah, I could probably provide some sort of like video footage from the war or something. I mean, shouldn't be that big of a deal.
That would be helpful. Anything you can provide would be appreciated.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why I couldn't slide some of that through. I mean, if the Tavaxians are gonna orbit Earth and the Yubari are gonna alter the course of whatever's going on, I don't see why I can't release some sort of media footage.
Excellent.
Can you? It works out to be about 2 zettabytes of data. Can you handle that size?
She just kind of looks at her brother.
That is an impressive amount of data.
yeah, Billy's face is just like, what?
Much of our technology can't quite handle that scope.
I think you mean all of our technology. I mean, I'm not that familiar with this planet yet, but that's a lot.
Is there some sort of solid medium you can put the data on, and we can try to decode it from that?
Good Lord.
Thumb drive.
A what's a thumb drive?
Oh, yeah. Maybe you guys don't have those. It's a
I'm
small, hard. It's a memory stick. No, never mind.
Uh, I mean, I could provide something like that, but I don't think you have anything that could process it.
No, but Hyperion could probably create something that will take it.
What medium do you use right now? And please say it's not tape.
No, we use either servers for the internet or cartridges or floppy disks.
So
Billy's jaw drops. He's like, "What? You don't even have CDs?"
he says, "Okay, so, I'm gonna have to go to a space station and see if I can get this copy down to a physical media. That could take some time."
Understood. Whenever you have that available, reach out to us and we'll meet again.
Uh, yeah, I'll just show up. And is there some way I can just like alert you without getting on the comms? Because that can be
You could-
traced.
You can call us on the phone.
You dial up our landline.
We can provide
Right,
you.
a phone number. Okay, okay. You guys still got payphones, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So give me a phone number. I'll pocket that, and then I'll land somewhere, and then phone you guys.
So Hyperion goes ahead and provides the number.
Okay. And he says, "All right. If you don't have any more questions, and since I'm already kind of fudging the rules here, I want a burger."
Mm. Yeah.
So if it's all the same, I'm gonna get one before I go. Guys, have any other questions or?
You have been more than helpful. We appreciate everything you've done.
Okay, and keep that frequency off.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Okay. Just be safe. All right. So you kids keep on keeping on, and if you see your dad, tell him what the heck's up.
Will do. Thank you, Collapsing Star.
So he takes off into the sky at this point.
Well, in a way, am I wrong to be kind of disgusted? I mean,
Let's get back to the vein first.
what good is a galactic police?
I think Angler
that's
is
what I was-
correct. Let's head back to the vein and then we'll discuss what we just learned. Shown, if you could, please.
And
Yeah.
the Hyperion, zip up, dude.
Thank you. And he reactivates his guys.
Okay.
So yeah, she said she takes them all back home.
Sure. You teleport back. Badoof.
Billy's going, "Ooh, I'm going to get used to that someday."
You will eventually.
Excuse me.
We're going to have to work on his stamina.
Right. So
Well
it sounds to me that pretty much the reason Earth is in the position that it's in is because dear old dad made a deal and then bailed. They're not allowed to come here and assist, and even if they wanted to, this planet is such a steaming mess that they wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole anyway.
I don't
So
think steaming mess is the right response.
I'm
more than likely
trying to
after-
be nice.
More than likely, after the tyrant was defeated, Electrum said, "This is my house. Do not step in my house," and basically put down an ultimatum.
So you're saying that our father didn't want his planet as part of the Galactic Union?
Yes, if he is a reasonable person, since I don't know him as an individual, I would say that the enslaving of not species that have not been lifted up is something that may have rubbed him the wrong way.
Well, I understand that, but
I mean, the
if he
problem
had
is,
allowed Earth to become part of the Galactic Union, then Earth would have had those protections.
Earth would not be accepted because it is not technologically nor societally advanced enough to match that of other races.
right? Which
We are
As
far
defined by
behind.
those other races.
honestly, it makes me wonder why he made the deal in the first place. 'Cause they
My
wouldn't have-
concern is the fact that you've got these
The
to
Tavaxians.
the
vaccine.
vaccines, thank you, and the Ubari here, and Electrum has not intervened.
At all.
My concern is that's going to get out.
Yeah, if
and
it
that
hasn't
could
already.
be why Lightbringer is having the visions that she's having.
Which is all the more reason to take Collapsing Star's advice, find the Ubari, prevent them from having the ability to leave or communicate off-world. At the same time, the Devaxians are at least helping with preventing that transmission. But
So, do we ally with the Tavaxians and enlist their help to deal with the Ubari?
they have already been attempting what they can, it seems, when it comes to the Ubari and trying to enforce this quarantine. But clearly they failed to stop the Ubari from penetrating it. I'm not sure that inviting them and their help directly would assist us.
My only thought is that right now, as it appears to me, we're just a ball with a giant flag on it that says "Come enslave us." Like, I
Exactly.
mean, the minute that word gets out, and like I said, if they're you've got two different groups that are at odds with each other, and there's absolutely nothing stopping them from advertising the fact that they haven't seen Electrum in ages, or they haven't seen anything to stop them from doing whatever the hell they want,
And you
besides
have
maybe a few of us.
to realize that my race did exactly what others were doing. They enslaved the humans. They were their gods. And they did what my ancestors required of them. They had no free will.
However,
They
your
had free
people are
will. It's a
not
matter of
They
ahead.
really didn't have free will. Others
So,
outside of the Egyptian mythology, yes. But the Egyptians themselves, they were ours.
right, but I think what he's pointing out is your people didn't come in and try to enslave the entire planet, which was a bonus. But
Well,
That's not what I'm
that's
saying at all. I'm saying that they had free will and they chose to be obedient.
that is, and the reason being is that we had other deities. You had the Roman and you had the Norse. I mean, we are not the only.
Space
so
or trans-dimensional beings that exist. Yes, we understand that.
And
uh,
you'd be surprised how many are here on Earth, even today. I mean, if I'm here, you know they're here.
so as the new guy to all this information, the Vaxians and the what's the other group, the
the Ubari.
Ubari. Uh, what are the power differences? I mean, what are we really talking about here? The Tavaxians haven't been.
It
Sorry,
doesn't
go ahead.
seem to be a matter of actual superpowers. Superpowers in their existence actually seem to be rather relatively rare in interstellar society, and there's a massive density of them on Earth because of what the Dexamites were doing on this planet long ago.
I don't necessarily mean superpowers. I mean even technological power. You said the Tavaxians weren't able to stop the Ubari, so is it numbers? Is it tech? Is it all of the above?
At least technology. Humanity itself, in general, does not have faster than light drives. I could begin creating them. I do understand how to do that from reverse engineering Ixion's vessel.
We can worry about being off planet in a few minutes.
True. Just the thought of how to help to uplift humanity when the time is right. That technology will be necessary.
First off, we need to consider a few things. The real big emergence of empowered people. Let's define these as expanded genealogy, activated genes. Those seem to start developing and become really more prevalent about 30 to 40 years ago. Yes, they were around in the 1930s and 40s for sure. We know from people like Reichshield and from Electrum himself that they were around. However, in the last 20 to 30 years, we've started to see a greater number of it, greater number of empowered beings. I do not think that was where before I thought that maybe Electrum was slowly building a family army for more conquering purposes. I am now believing maybe he decided or he knew he was going to die, so he left it in his children's hands.
So you think our father is dead?
Captured, dead, old, and who knows how actually old he is. And maybe he's off world, maybe he's settled in a new place. We don't know any of that, and that is fine. But what we do know is that from all the information we have about the intergalactic community, that dextromite marker and genealogy is not common. And yet Earth, with the one good dextromite, seems to have a huge boost in the numbers that are on this planet. And in fact, it'd probably be an extreme outlier if you were to think of it in a scientific manner.
And we just brought a whole bunch more.
We were told by Noron that, as far as he is aware, a long time ago, Earth was a hub for the Dexamite Empire. There was much activity between them and humans as they were back then. Therefore, it's likely that that's where the beginnings of the Dexamite marker began.
And that is potentially true. But even throughout history, Merlin, Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table, Gilgamesh, Shesomaru from Japanese mythology, these are outliers of what we hear about.
What is
We
an
don't-
outlier?
We don't hear about entire societies, entire cities filled with empowered beings. We hear about a hero. We hear about a group of heroes. In some of the other pantheons outside of the Egyptian pantheon. Hercules. Calypso from the same mythology. We hear about these figures, but we hear about them as a couple of dozen. But based on the numbers that they should have had, if we all have these Dexamite markers, it should be thousands to hundreds of thousands, even for just Rome.
That would be the case if Dexamite genetics worked identically to human genetics. Perhaps there's something different that would alter its progression through the human genome.
There must be some type of compatibility. But we are also making a lot of assumptions here. We are assuming that this actually began hundreds to thousands of years ago and that these markers were either intentionally or unintentionally passed into us.
Well,
what I'm saying is a little bit more specific. I'm saying Electrum, either fearing his death, capture, or knowing he was going to die just of old age, decided instead of being passive in the project, be more active. By siring a lineage of children, we now pass along his markers, giving everyone in our line more.
and it is a possibility because I know that through histories, some theorists believe that the human race was seeded.
Yes. Right now, I used to believe that those guys were just tinfoil hat wearing guys, but I'm seeing the galactic Federation, or whatever they want to call themselves. That is very much probably a possibility.
So Star Trek exists.
I
Who
don't
would've
know if it
known?
exists now, but it probably exists in some dimension at least.
Well, I mean, you've got galactic travel. I mean, our brother Exion is proof of that. I mean, so yes, I would say, and look at Mosh Pit's communication device. I mean, it's just
True.
I'm just saying, instead of thinking that Electrum was maybe either a philanderer or a tyrant like the rest of his race, or his presumed race, and the galactic sense, mind you, maybe it was more thoughtful in the intention.
That he was trying to create defenders in his absence.
Correct. Because we now know about the cult. And could the cult capture him? Yes. I have a pearl that can put people to sleep. I put that entire column of people asleep. No deaths, no destruction. Why are we thinking that it's impossible that one hero cannot be put to sleep? Cannot be sedated.
He is rather powerful, and according to Collapsing Star, it would seem like an extraordinarily monumental task to even subdue him. But
we all have weaknesses.
Precisely.
I'm just saying that it is not out of the realm of thought that hero worship can cloud our thoughts. As similar as how much I can revile someone who is probably legitimately trying to make a good faith efforts.
well.
I'm saying that the way we view people can be changed and it can be different. But in this case, I don't think that it was malicious what Electrum was doing. Or at least the intention wasn't malicious.
We have a lot of irons in the fire, and I, for one, don't even know which one to pull out first.
If I can complete the set for the Pearl, it will help us tremendously. I do have... Yep, and here in a few minutes, I'm going to call the Justice Legion and see if I can't speak with the insufferable douchebags, or if I can get directly through to the Prince Tidebreaker.
Might I suggest you not call them that to their face?
Oh,
I've called it to them faces before. I will do it until I die. We
when
were
you
raised
meet them,
together.
when you meet them, you'll understand, and their family, unfortunately.
We are triplets.
So,
not to interrupt out of character, we forgot to roll for karma.
That's right.
Because we should be rolling for that, as this would be the first game of this month.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and award for Brittany since she isn't here, because she tried to be here last night for the game and had technical issues. So we have officially 3 birthdays for this one. So go ahead and roll for karma. So it's 1d10.
is that everybody?
No, just one person, but
Just one person.
It's awarded to everybody, yes.
We
Okay.
can go ahead and roll it. We'll do that. 1d10. Oops. Does we have that in there? There we go. 1d. Rolled a 7 on that.
Nice.
Okay, and then for each birthday, that's going to be an additional
Well,
1d10. Is that
no,
or-
it's so the way we're going to do it here.
Yeah.
So it is, so that's 7 times 5 or 7 times 50.
350.
So 350 per player. So that's 6 people.
Okay.
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
That's 2100. I'm doing it right here.
And then times 3.
Wow.
We're multiplying that times 3?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
6,300.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay then. So then let's see here, because we just had to use that. So 6,300.
So we
So that
can-
puts her.
So we can keep playing.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to interrupt Mike's thought. So go ahead and Mike, but Dale, obviously take care of the bookkeeping, and then
Yeah.
right after game we could talk about karma spends and whatnot if you needed.
Oh, I don't know that I had a complete thought. It's this.
Well, then just
it
have
is-
Billy word vomit something up then, or whatever.
right. I mean, that's just it. It's sitting here thinking about the a lot of irons in the fire. It's not just a lot of irons in the fire. It's that there's a lot of really big, heavy, sharp, dangerous irons in the fire, and Billy's like,
Hyperion.
what if we no? I'm lost.
Perhaps it is time that we prioritize and make a game plan as to what we are going to do first and then what comes next. Tentatively. I know it won't be set in stone, but I think we are impeding ourselves by not really having a game plan.
Sure.
True. With what we learned so far and the current irons in the fire as they are, the only solid lead we actually have to follow would be to head to Transnistria and deal with the Ubari there to see what we can accomplish. Before we go there, we would need to prepare. We have made multiple trips before to New Prussia and to Argentina. We should learn from our successes and our failures. I will be learning Russian so that we can actually integrate as well. Angler, you also know Russian, correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Hey,
If we need to split up in teams, we'll have 2 translators.
Babblefish was around in the 90s, right?
a very rudimentary, crude version, I think. But
Probably,
that's
yeah.
so. Yeah, Billy
It would have
says,
been
"Hey,
Rosetta Stone.
by the way, you wanted me to make that list of technologies. That's one of them."
A translator, like a universal translation device.
Basically, we could effectively that device I gave you could handle that.
I see.
Usually, only with a connection to the greater net. But yeah,
Fascinating.
Perhaps I should start studying Russian.
If you believe you'll be able to accomplish that within the next few days, I want
Well,
to
I can
start this as soon as
probably-
possible.
I can at least learn the basics.
Excellent. Also, as I mentioned, since we're going to be there beginning in a clandestine manner, if you're able to do what you can with Helios's help to find out what we should wear, we can then acquire that garb and wear it while we're actually amongst that populace. And
We'll
then
get
Now
on
that
it right
I-
away.
That I don't know.
Right.
Well, perhaps moving about in the lore cast of their society will provide us more cover. They're historically the lore cast is usually ignored to begin with. So
Interesting strategy.
I guess the hobo way will be our way.
we called that bag lady chic.
All right, we're going bag lady chic. At least you made it sound fashionable. I can live with that.
That was the idea. It was never a compliment, though.
In the meantime, before we fully embark on that endeavor, with regard to what we have closer to home, the plant creatures that have made 2 appearances recently,
Oh, geez, I forgot about those.
I'd hate for them to make a reappearance while we're on mission in an entirely different part of the world.
Yeah.
With that said, the one who had the most direct impact beyond Lightbringer was Mosh Pit with your magical ability. I wonder, do you have any way of tracing where that interference came from magically?
That was because I tapped into Oshtur, and I didn't get anything more than how to shut down what was happening at the moment. And then I believe there was that overly large botanical thorn that I handed you.
I hate to say this, but perhaps asking the Justice League to kind of keep an eye out for the plant people and kind of give them an idea on how to defeat them.
You mean the Justice Legion?
Yeah.
Give a call into Aegis. I need to call the dynamic douchebags.
Noted. And I can actually do what I can to analyze the thorn with the lab we have here. I'll do that and see what I can come up with. But in the meantime, for our preparations overseas, I will also be doing what I can with Quantum Unlimited to make sure that they can function while we're gone. Some of us may need to make temporary appearances to keep up our civilian identities, of course.
And that'll be easy with my teleportation.
So here's a question. We just helped a whole bunch of what's the word, the phrasing you like? Not superpowered, but
Empowered.
empowered. You just helped a whole bunch of empowered beings migrate here. Excuse the air quotes. Where are they, and could any of them help keep an eye on all the nonsense that's
They are being kept in government housing. They are in, I guess you can say, quarantine at this point. I have been kind of seeing Mega Dude. And
Megalith.
yes. And they are waiting for the go ahead, and I was actually hoping that we could talk to Aegis and perhaps the ambassador to see about moving it a little bit faster so they can
try to expedite at least some of them.
And I think Megalith and his roomies would be ones that I would feel comfortable leaving Strongford in their hands.
I will call Ambassador Nolan to see if he can offer any assistance or guidance on fast-tracking the naturalization process for as many as possible.
You might want to touch bases with Grace because she is their point of contact for all the refugees. So perhaps between you and Grace, maybe the two of you could go to Ambassador Nolan. But I would definitely include her in that.
Noted. Do you happen to have her contact information? Was that given to you?
Hold on. So she's going to give Megabuff a call and get that information.
Okay, don't have to roleplay that, but yeah, you get the phone number to where she's staying.
Yep, so she passes that on.
Okay. Right. Well then, in the meantime, to clarify then, as far as the plant creature phenomenon, Mosh Pit, would you have any other means of trying to determine where that came from with Oshtur or any other skills that you have?
Aside from contacting Oshtur again, no. I mean, yeah, all of my other abilities are pretty grounded in the here and now.
We need to work on his power stunts and perhaps broadening his abilities.
course. Is
Are
there...
the real question is, are your abilities magical, or are they technological, or are they innate?
Magical and innate. The
Innate
pearl,
we can work with.
right? The pearl offers me the ability to do things like the transforming and the altering my appearance and the fear-based stuff. Um, what I haven't shown you yet is that I can manifest what we would call eldritch bolts, um, and then of course contacting Ashtra is also done through the pearl. The sound generation manipulation is innate to me.
All right.
Perfect.
So, if you're looking for a regiment to begin working on developing that, begin trying to go as soft as you can to as loud as you can. If it gets too loud or shakes, I have an idea for managing that, but it's something that I'll probably need from Quantum Unlimited for soundproofing.
Well, according to Helios, trading room has
Can take
dampeners,
it.
and we have been playing with the dampeners. But
Dampeners, yes, but
But-
that's not
Freddie
sound
is
cancellation.
Freddie is, and I hate to admit this, he is your best bet to coming up with a training program.
Are
Why
there
would
any?
you hate to admit that?
Just because.
Are,
Noted.
are there any other people or
Sibling
beings
rivalry.
that
Let's chalk it up to that.
all right. Are there any other people, beings from either exist now or from the past who used sound in any way that I could at least do some research on?
We can definitely ask Grace if one of the refugees has any of those powers.
Battle Hymn Bell has sonic projection powers as well.
Helios chimes in right when Hyperion says that. I have found a record for a sound generating and manipulating hero by the name of Battle Hymn Bell.
Battle Hymn Bell. All right.
She does act as an agent, a part of the Aegis Foundation. We may be able to contact her through them if you'd like to actually speak with her.
I'd love to. Like I said, until now, I had a mentor, but this was not an individual who was specifically familiar with my powers. So a lot of this has been fumbling around in the dark, just practicing and meditating
And
yeah,
until we get
breaking
a hold
things
of her?
accidentally.
I'd have to think out a better regiment, but until we get more information about maybe how to practice that, I would begin going as soft as possible, or even turning on a boombox in the room and dampening that sound as low as you can, and then increasing it. And I guess you have a guitar as well for being on the move.
I have a guitar just because it's fun. I mean, I play, so I mean, I don't need the guitar, but
So,
you know, it serves as a vehicle.
that might work as a way of training as well. Seeing what different chords can do.
Yeah.
You might be able to expand it out to to put a single crack in a piece of glass. That would definitely expand your control on the ability to all the way up to 11, because 10 just isn't loud enough.
Never.
And this is why I said I hate to admit that Freddie's good at this kind of stuff.
I will also assist in this. Shatter glass. Yes.
I see gears turning.
Yes. It occurs to me that Tyrix the Tyrant is a Deridian. According to what we know, he is a rock-like being, composed of possibly a large amount of a particular type of mineral. And if we can determine the harmonic frequency of it...
Yes. You could literally just explode him into little pebbles.
All right.
We would not do that because he is a sentient creature and we are not murderers. But if you happen to get good enough to break off his arm or his leg,
Okay, so I can break off parts of him, just not shatter him completely.
I would feel more conscionable if he wasn't outright murdered.
Fine.
Well, what do we do in times of war? There is always going to be casualties, and this man is bringing war to your planet.
That is not an excuse.
How about we deal with all of this when the time comes? I will, if I can get to a point where I even think that that's a possibility, that I might be able to damage this guy with just pure sound manipulation, um, then I'll worry about not killing him or killing him once we actually hit that point. But first, I have to even figure out if it's possible and if my powers are going to be able to reach that level. So,
Begin with volume, and then we
Start.
can work on the tone. And I don't know the musical term for it, but the pitch or frequency,
Mhm.
and that
Is
would be
it
the best way. That's the reason the glass would work very well, because you would be able to harmonize with the glass, like Hyperion said. And once you can realize that you can do that, then we can move on to other objects with different densities and different harmonic frequencies that might work. But we
I
don't want
have
to put all of our eggs in one basket.
I
Right.
have a question for Hyperion. The sensor that you created for me to measure my voltage,
Yes.
could we tailor one to measure harmonics? I am like my brother. I don't know a lot about music, but is there a frequency? Is there where we could tailor one to his specific needs to measure?
Abs- Absolutely. That would actually be relatively easy. I can obtain materials from Quantum Unlimited. It should be simple enough for me to make within an hour.
It would be good to have that in the training room for him. And then she's going to turn to Helios. Helios, could I need to learn Russian and I need to learn it quickly. Are there programs available that can assist me with that?
Affirmative. Helios would suggest you obtaining a copy of the Rosetta Stone.
Could you acquire that for me?
Negative. I have not found that on any illegal or illicit websites.
Okay. How about legal websites?
Uh, it could be ordered, but it would take 7 to 10 business days to be received.
And there's no, they don't have like express, like overnight. Okay. So
Not,
is there
not from the
anything
company
on,
website.
is there
When
anything online that I could utilize to use that is free that I could use to learn some Russian?
I have found some interesting Russian slang phrases, but nothing that would help make you fluent.
There's
You
go
another
can
to
thing
the
that
actual physical store or reach out to whenever we reach out to Aegis might be able to provide us with a copy.
Hmm.
Now he'll stand up. I gotta go and play nice.
good
have
luck.
fun. Have
I
fun
know
storming
that
the
speaking
castle.
with your siblings is difficult.
I'll put some bleach in your shower.
Wow.
In their shower would be better, but
Well, you're gonna want to scrub the scuzz off when you get back.
no, I'll just melt part of the wall and I'll be happy that way.
Well, that is where we're going to stop for the night. So we'll pick that up next time. It's been about almost a full 3 hours. So
Nice.
I hope you guys had fun. Some interesting turn of events.
Yeah.
Our next game coming up is actually on the 18th. That is our Cyberpunk game, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Street Fighter is on the 19th, which is that Thursday, again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we're going to be back in action with Ashland by Night Blood Ties on the 21st.
Yay!
And that is going to be at 11 a.m. So thank you guys
And then
all
we
for
have
tuning in
our-
who hung out with us. Of course, it is Christmas in October, so we are obviously getting big on the XP and whatnot. So hope to see you guys then, and we'll see you guys again. Obviously, if you watch the replay, and we'll have everything updated or uploaded to YouTube soon. So thank you again, and have a good night.
Good night.
Night.